time has finally come. We are finally gonna do some turbo stuff, something that actually might be cool to you guys, instead of some boring mid plates or cage work or anything like that. So this is an S480. This has the, I believe it's like a 96 or 98 exhaust wheel. So it's also got the big T6 1.32 divided housing on it. It's actually a VS Racing turbo. It's actually kind of cool. The backstory on this turbo. So I won this from Matt Rice over at DNR Auto, and I won it in a raffle or a waffle, and won it for like 20 bucks, and it's actually pretty crazy. So I normally never win anything from raffles, and I happened to see this one, and the last number that no one had chose yet was number 21. And like a couple of years back, I had a friend pass away, and like his favorite number was 21. So I was like, screw it, we'll see if I win it, right? Like it's his number, it'd be crazy. And I just happened to win it. So it's kind of weird, kind of like a weird moment. But anyways, this is the turbo we're gonna be running for this season. It's cool because this big frame turbo, unless I go it's like a huge turbo, this should work for the next turbo I plan to upgrade with. Realistically, this year I want to make like 900 horsepower to 1,000, somewhere in there. And then if the motor, stock motor, is okay with it, we will go ahead and run it like that for the season, and then save up some money to do a built motor for it. And then once I do the built motor, I'll actually get probably like an 88, like an S488, so an 88 millimeter compressor with like a 102 or 103 exhaust wheel, I can't remember, but still same housings and everything. So it should just be like a nice and simple to upgrade later, to just to bolt the turbo on and maybe modify like the charge pipes and the downpipe flange, but that's about it. So let's go ahead and get started and see if we can find a home for this big boy. I'm just thinking, no matter what I do, I'm gonna have issues mounting a radiator because the intercooler is gonna be so big that I have like no room besides to mount it like parallel with the ground. And I'm thinking, if I gotta do that, why not just put the turbo directly in the middle of the car facing forward? But I think I might give Nick Agers a call later, kind of pick his brain, see if he's ever done it before. Before we do that though, we got some enchiladas, some chicken enchiladas, some rice and beans. We're gonna feast first. Yo, hey, I don't want to bother you too much, but hey, I'm sitting here, I got my motor plates done. I'm gonna put a big air to air there. I'm kind of like done room for a radiator. Like, so my question is, have you ever mounted a radiator like parallel to the ground almost? All right, I'll figure it out. That's the only question I got. So, all right, thank you, appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye. Well, shit, I don't know. Just got on the phone with Nick, and he said basically both ways would work. You just got to give the radiator like a little kick, obviously, which if I do mount it straight at the bottom, I would do that, of course. And then also just have to obviously have like a swirl pot and make like a steam vent up top where the radiator is. So that way like it helps push the air out of it. But eat some lunch first and then we'll figure it out. Let me explain what we're doing a little bit better. So this is a streetcar fab, T6 divided to 2.5 inch, and they're like CNC transitioned all good. Check them welds out, came out pretty good. I know the tab is like overhung quite a bit. It's all good, I just didn't have room with how close my tube front was, but ow. Nice and easy to do, nice and easy to work with. I just ended up welding this little tab right here off of the tube front part that I put on there. This thing will not want to focus on it. So super simple.
just 3/8 bolts. And then I'm also, once you put the turbo back on there, I'll explain better, but I'm gonna put another mount here and like weld the nut to the exhaust housing just so it has a little bit stiffer brace on it. I actually think Kyle's gonna be coming by here in a little bit. He's driving the van over for a test drive, so we'll see. If he can't make it to my shop, it's like 30 minutes from him. He ain't gonna make it on Rocky Mountain Race Week, so I hope he's all good. He called me like 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago and said that he was on his way and he still isn't here yet, so maybe we'll hang out with him for a little bit. But once this stuff cools off, we'll go ahead and install the turbo with no jack stand or anything like that. So real exciting stuff. Okay, well, I'm a dip. I thought I was recording me installing the turbo, but of course I forgot to record. So that's my bad, but check out where she is. Looks pretty good. I like it. It's got a slight angle to it. I was gonna make it go forward, but let me explain why I ended up putting it how I put it. So here's the thing, right, is it looks like I have a bunch of room, but realistically I don't, because this thing comes to a point. So like if you look here, I really don't have that much room. Like I have this much room right here. Obviously I can go down a little bit, but I don't have much room to go down because I don't want to smack anything. So I really don't have that much room up and down, but I have a lot of room like side to side. So this got mounted like this at this slight angle because I really hate hood exits. So I was thinking about putting it this way with the compressor housing facing straight forward. But to do that, I could have ran because the housing, the downpipe would have came out right here. I could have ran it like back and around here and then like up through the fender and put it a fender exit, or I could have done a hood exit. I really don't like the hood exits. I've had one on the CRX and I've drove a bunch of customer cars that have hood exits and they're not bad, but like if it ever rains, like you have to worry about covering them up, and I just don't really want to run a whole bunch of, because I'm going to put the hood back on it. I don't want to run a really long exhaust all the way over to here and then this extra heat inside the engine bay. So it looks really deceiving here, but this flange is going to get chopped off. I'm actually going to put just regular 4-inch flange on this. This is like a 5-inch Mormon, and then I'm going to pie cut it up and up into the fender, right up into here. So the exhaust is going to live right about in here, which I'm really happy with. Now this is the tire full lock. I actually have to take this little spot on the where the old sway bar thing used to be off, so it'll turn a little bit more, but not much. So at full lock, I wouldn't even call it close, but it's kind of close, semi-close, I guess. But with the pie cut and the 4-inch, it should have plenty of room. And then also the front cowl thing that's right over here still fits like this. And then I can still make an intake scoop, kind of like what I wanted to, having it forward facing, just like at an angle like this. So that should look pretty cool. And then so what took me the longest was trying to figure out how I want to do the intercooler and the radiators. So I'm going to go ahead and order the intercooler core that I originally wanted to. It's going to be a vertical flow, and I'm going to end up cutting it in half and like making a custom thing. I'll of course do a video on it, but it's going to be 9 inches thick. So it's going to stick out to here, and then it's also going to be 11 inches tall and then 14 inches wide. So it should work really good. And then I have this room here for a radiator, so I can put a radiator at the bottom flat like this. Or what I'm thinking is make a bunch of ducting for, since the intercooler is going to be up front, get a bunch of airflow, make a bunch of paneling and ducting, and then have the radiator sit at an angle right at the top of the intercooler, and then come back down like this, and then just use a thicker core because I only have this width and it won't end up being that long, because the intercooler should come to about like right here. So I'll have this room from here to here to like put a slight angle on a radiator and put that there. I'm gonna go ahead and order the intercooler core, get that coming, and then get an idea of what dimensions I have for a radiator so I can get a radiator on the way. I'm actually gonna make it all really nice, do like nice AN lines for the radiator setup in 102 and do like a bigger swirl pot and like an actual legit swirl pot. So it should be really interesting. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. For all you haters talking about my bump steer, yes, I clearly know I have bump steer issues. I just haven't ordered the bump steer kit, so I will be also ordering that tonight. I just put that on there so I could still turn the car and push it around. I know most of the time you guys aren't hating. Y'all are just thinking that like I didn't even think about it or whatnot, but don't worry, it's not finished yet. Once it's finished and there's some stuff you guys want to hate on me about, let me know. Let me know then, not right now. I also wanted to mention something too. So I know I do throw shade at Kyle sometimes when like he says he's gonna come and then doesn't show up, but yesterday I do feel bad for him because I was just joking when I said I wonder if he had an issue. and he actually did have an issue. So he did get it fixed though, so I'm happy for him. Gonna be excited to watch them on Rocky Mountain Race Week. Maybe sometime we will do that in the RX-7, but until now we're just gonna do regular stuff because I can hardly get this thing to stay together for more than a year before I want to rip it apart. So went ahead and got these two collectors made. I am not gonna weld the V-bands on them yet. I'm gonna go ahead and weld the collectors out, and then I'm gonna have to trim them a little bit for the 2.5 inch V-bands, but they came out good. I actually did them all pretty quick, honestly. So, haven't built a manifold in quite some time. Just like riding a bike, I guess. Didn't take me too long to get those two collectors made. So, I'm gonna go ahead, get those welded, then eat some lunch, then show you guys some of the welds, and then I'm not really sure what we're gonna leave this video off with, but maybe I'll show you guys what one of the runners is gonna look like. So I just got done eating. I was letting this cool off. I just got done welding the inside of this one. I just welded the other one, and it is cooling off. Should be cooled off here in just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead with the one runner that is cool. I'm gonna start on this side because this is the easier side. I just wanna kind of get like an idea down on this side and then transfer it over to the other side. The steering shaft really isn't that much in the way, but it's a little bit in the way. So it should be pretty simple. I think that is going to be where I'm going to leave you guys off on this video because I want to make a separate video on just building the manifolds themselves. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for y'all. I want to kind of split these up into different videos just because there's a lot of info, and I'd rather make like 2 8 or 10 minute videos instead of like 1 30-minute video. So hope y'all have a great day. I'm going to start on these manifolds, and I hope y'all are excited. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. We'll be building the turbo manifolds for the RX-7.